Hello, hello. Let's see, we're just doing a few sound tests really quick. All right, and here we are. So, hello everyone. This is Mari behind the camera, and very soon in front of the camera is my husband Jerome
Hello everyone.
Villalobos, which is for if it is your first time in this channel, he is a bonsai artist with over 15 years of experience, and today we will be working on this tree that he has next to him. Is a vitex, and he'll tell you a little more about it while we start the live. But in the meantime, please let us know in the comments where you guys are tuning in from today. We'd love to say hello to you. We are going live on TikTok and also on YouTube. And I want to try to do some close-ups and things today. We're going to change it around. We have a vertical setting today to work with, so we'll do our best. But we have such a great material with us today, so I'm very, very excited to get started with this. So in the meantime, I want to let Jerome to introduce himself and to show what we have today.
Well, hello everyone, and happy Wednesday, and welcome back, of course, if you've been here before. So, if you have seen our last couple of YouTube videos, this should be no surprise to you, but we have a Vitex trifolia here with us today. This is an extremely rare tree to come by in the United States, especially as bonsai material, especially the trifolia, because it has these beautifully rounded leaves. Well, they're more like oval, but their tip is rounded. They're really beautiful. They have really compact growth. They're vigorous growers, and they're very forgiving. Now, they like to be grown in full sun if you're in a tropical climate, but also they can be grown in a temperate climate. You would just have to protect them over the winter, but they're very easy to protect. Like I said, they're an extremely hardy tree. This is actually a cutting from one of my mother trees that I have in the ground. So I hate, if you've ever seen our windswept Vitex, I took a clipping from that tree, I potted it in the ground, or I planted it in the ground, and it got really big, and I started to take clippings from that tree, and this is the very, very last tree clipping from that mother tree. Now, this tree has been in training for about 6 years at this point, so it is an older tree in training. It has been for 6 years. As you can see, it has great movement, it has great root spread already, and all the branches are already here. It has great movement in the trunks as well in the branches. Here, I'm going to spin this around for you guys. Now, in the fall, they actually lose all the leaves like a deciduous tree. The leaves turn to a gold yellow, and then they fall off. And then in the spring and throughout the year, they actually flower. They have a beautiful purple flower, and they flower kind of like a bougainvillea continuously throughout the year. So great material that I have here with me today.
Yeah, and if you guys are not familiar with the species, which is Vitex, we invite you to check out the latest videos that we have posted on YouTube. We are the Bonsai Supply, where actually Jerome put together a video about the species itself and covers the basics of it. So you're able to go back to that video if you have any doubts after this live, or if you already saw it, you can also let us know questions that you might have after seeing it. And basically the way it works, this demo, is that Jerome is going to be working on the tree. You guys can ask any questions. I'm going to be asking those, like reading those questions to him, and then after the tree is finished, we'll open a 48 hours auction where you guys, if you are in the United States, you are welcome to participate and bid for this tree, and we'll ship it right to your home. So right, let's see. So what is your first steps when you get a tree?
Today's live is going to be a little bit different than previous lives, Since this is not a complete stock tree, this has been in training for a long time. Most of the trees that we get, they have been, hedge pruned over several years. And then I have to go ahead and find a beautiful tree inside and create it. But this has already been created. So this is going to be fairly easy for me. I'm going to go through the entire tree and I'm going to take some branches and wire them and place them. But it has also overgrown in some sections, like over here, for instance. So I have to work these areas back a little bit. And so the first thing that I'm going to do here is actually go through the entire tree with my concave cutters. And I'm going to remove all of the growth that I'm not going to utilize in today's styling. So for instance, branches that are growing out of crotches or armpits, those branches, I'm going to remove that growth as well. I'm also going to remove some of the branches that have died. So for instance, like in here, I have 1 or 2 branches that have died back. So I'm just going to take these out because we're not going to obviously utilize dead branches. Now, what is interesting to know about the Vitex, when it grows, it has more of a deciduous form versus a tropical form. And yes, there are deciduous Vitex and tropical Vitex. This right here is a tropical Vitex, but it can extend really far into the temper zone. So like in an 8, it does phenomenally well. You might just have to protect it from the frost a little bit. And so having said that it is a more of a deciduous style, if you look at the back of the tree, you can see all the branches have this natural curvy movement towards the top. So I'm not going to go ahead and bring these branches down like you would expect me to do on like a tropical tree. No, here I want to continue that flowiness. And I have some branches in here up on top here that I've gotten a little too straight. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply some wire and just put some movement into those to continue that deciduous look. So let me get started on that.
Yeah, and if you guys can see this tree, it's so great. It has so many branches and that great. I mean, I love the trunk. The trunk, it has such a nice shape.
And also the root spread is this big.
Oh my goodness.
Is this big. So absolutely great material.
It's a great material, and I don't know if the video does justice. It's quite big as well. So have that in mind. When you bid for the tree, you're gonna get a big tree, and you're ready for that.
And like I said, this is an extremely rare species. This is not something like you can pick up landscaping trees of this variety. Well, not of this exact variety. The one that has more like a maple leaf. You can pick those up at nurseries. But they are usually either very, very big, so they're more like a garden tree, or they are very small, like little cuttings and like little pots. So to find something this size with this many branches and this far along in development is actually quite rare. So whoever gets this, I think you're going to be very lucky.
Yeah, no, it's really great material. So I just want to say hello to Eric Cruz on YouTube. Hello, Eric. Thank you for joining us. Texas Bonsai Boy said, love you guys. Oh, we love you back. Thank you for being here. On TikTok, I see Brody. Hey, Brody. And the question has a question. What's an easy bonsai to care for? I have 3 and they all die within a year.
Well, you are looking at an easy to care for bonsai tree. Did Brody say where he's from by any chance?
No.
Okay, so since I don't know where you're from, if you live in a tropical climate, get yourself a ficus, a Hawaiian umbrella, a bougainvillea, get yourself a jade, a Chinese elm, or a ball cypress. If you live in a temperate climate, you can get yourself an elm, an oak, a Vitex, of course. You can still get a ball cypress. Trident maples are absolutely great, and also junipers are very forgiving and really easy to care for, actually, if you don't let them dry out.
Yes, and Brody's actually saying, I'll die for a good bonsai. It hurts my soul living in Dubai to take care of.
So now that I know that you live in Dubai, I really don't know. I'm assuming Dubai is more tropical. I'm thinking desert. I could be off by that, but I'm thinking desert. So
going to go to your nearest nursery and see the material that is thriving in there, because that's usually the material that does good in your climate and your environments.
Good call. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But knowing nothing about Dubai, I'm gonna say fairly tropical.
Yes, and on TikTok also I see Teen B. Sorry, I missed. What tree is this?
This is a Vitex trifolia.
Yes, and on YouTube, Dujan, hi,
Hey,
Good
Dujan.
morning, hello. They say, did I make it to the live event? Yes, you did. You're
Yeah,
here
this
with
is live.
us. Hello from Germany, Bonsai Klaus, amazing. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, Dujan is like Jerome's rocking the black socks and the flip flops.
You can see that?
Yes. Today we're going, you're gonna see all the sides of Jerome. So we're going in vertical mode today. Well, for those on TikTok, you are always vertical. For those on YouTube, it's usually horizontal. We don't know what's going on with our YouTube settings. We did everything, our phone settings. It does not want us to go live on a horizontal mode. So we,
So
the show must
I would
go
like
on.
to apologize, but I'm just wearing black socks.
And Jerome, just went in on his, his personality is shining here. You guys, we're zero secrets.
Well, this is the style here in Houston, Texas. It's called the
Yeah. Sooner than later, you probably will also see Scotty, which is our golden retriever. He's wandering around as well, and he might show.
But this is how we do these lives. It's just like we're in your living room, like you are in our living room. So welcome.
Literally.
Yeah,
This is
literally.
a garage, but yes. Okay. Oh, there he is, Scotty, making his appearance.
Oh, so you can see him. Huh? Scotty, act normal.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. And Brody said, "Thank you so much. I'll check my local nurseries, and that's definitely a good idea." All right. Yes, wonderful. And let me see. Haley on TikTok. Oh, I love TikTok for recommending this live to me. My husband and I love bonsai.
Excellent.
Oh, welcome in, welcome in. Happy to have you. Let me see. I see hello. Hello from South Africa. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Hello. On TikTok. Let's see. I live in Australia. My trident maple has grown a lot. My Japanese maple has not yet, however. Alright.
So you guys are reversed in climate, right? When we have winter, you guys have summer, right? As far as I know. So having said that, and correct me if I'm wrong about that. So right now we're going into fall, which means you're going into spring, right? Japanese maples are very temperature sensitive, so generally they start to wake up before the trident maples. But having said that, it always depends on how long you've had it, how healthy it is, and if you just got it last year or just recently, you don't know what this tree has gone through, right? Maybe it grew so much last year, it is really exhausted, maybe it didn't have a good winter, so it is really hard to tell without knowing its history. So that's why I just recommend just stay easy with it. Make sure that it stays, once it starts to wake up, that it stays above 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm pretty sure, very confident that it will start to wake up.
Alright. Wonderful. And let me see. Oh, by the way, he did say that that's the weather that you were thinking of is true.
Of what? Of Dubai or in
Australia.
Okay. Cool. Yes.
Yeah, and Garing is joining on YouTube. Hello, Garing. Hello, Bond Supply family. And Pricato17 on TikTok. Hola, amigos.
Hola, señor.
When will be the best time to remove that wire?
The wire that I'm just putting on, so since we are going into the fall, probably in the first week or so after the tree has woken up in the spring. So you can actually leave it on there. But once this tree wakes up in the spring, keep a very close eye on these wires because this tree will explode in growth. And if you are not careful in terms of removing the wire in a timely manner, they will start to bite into the trunk. So keep that in mind.
All right. And Eric is asking on YouTube, is a cherry blossom a good starter tree?
I wouldn't say it's a good starter tree just because they can be a little finicky. But if you have like access to one, get one. If you don't have to pay too much money for it, absolutely get it. If you don't have easy access to those, they can be very expensive and they can also be a little finicky. It also depends on what type of cherry blossom you get. Always stay away from the dwarf species when you just start out in bonsai, because the dwarf species are a little less forgiving, actually a lot less forgiving. They're quite finicky, even though I know they're super cool because they have smaller leaves and smaller flowers, but stay away from them because they will lead up to disappointment. So instead, get a cherry blossom that has a little bit larger leaves, is a little more vigorous growing, and is a little more forgiving, and start out with that one. I've had a few cherry blossoms and they're fantastic if you know how to care for them. I wouldn't really recommend it as your first bonsai tree, however.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the same.
Okay. Yeah, because you've seen me struggle a little bit sometimes with them because they're very temperamental.
I love them, but
Oh, yeah.
definitely not the easiest species for bonsai. At least this, yeah. I mean, not impossible, of course. Just a little more challenging than some other species.
Yes.
Yeah, and let's see. They're asking on TikTok, what is your definition of a bonsai, and what's the largest a tree can be to be considered a bonsai?
So, in my opinion, if it is in a bonsai pot, it can be as large as you want it to be. Like, there's no real cutoff point. The most important thing about a bonsai and what makes a bonsai is that it resembles a miniature image of a large and old tree. So if you have a container that's as large as your car and you have a trunk like this, but it resembles a miniature image of a fully grown tree, it can totally pass as a bonsai tree. But that's my opinion. And Mari can attest to that. I have had some very large bonsai trees.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Which I'm no longer allowed to acquire, large bonsai trees.
If you need a forklift to move your tree, you actually, I wouldn't go see, I mean, that's just a lot.
It's a lot.
It's still a bonsai, but you guys, this just a tree for me.
But I mean,
that's an actual like tree on the ground.
But I mean, what's wrong with having a forklift in your garage so that you can move your bonsai trees?
Yeah, but it's not get too easy as you age as well.
That's true.
Such a big tree.
No, I have to side with this on Mari. Like when you're just starting out in bonsai, a lot of times you want to go super, super big, and you should do that. But the longer you're into bonsai, the smaller the trees tend to become. For instance, this right here is a perfect size bonsai tree. When there's a storm coming, I can just pick it up and I can just take it away and put it into safety. Now, if you have a very big tree that needs 2 or more people to carry it, then you're always dependent on somebody to be there to help you out. Right, Mari?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's usually me. And believe me.
And I always need her help after she gets her fingernails done.
I talk for the Women Association of Crazy Husbands in Bonsai.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm the president. And there we agreed that none of us wants to actually help moving trees or anything like that.
Now, guys, having said that, and I'm speaking out of experience, you also shouldn't use your dishwasher to wash your bonsai pots.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good idea either.
I thought it was.
No. All right, so let's move on from
the don'ts and talk about the do's.
From married couple doing bonsai. That's just a lot. And for those joining in on TikTok, what type of tree is that? This is a Vitex, and in this live demonstration, Jerome is gonna be styling the tree. You guys can ask questions, and I'll be reading those for him. And the finished tree will go to an online auction for 48 hours where you can bid for the tree and get it shipped to your house as long as you live in the United States. So that's the spiel for now, and let me see more questions over here. Oh wait, this one is amazing. It's from Brownlee. Hey Brownlee.
Hey Brownlee.
Thank you for joining. And he's saying, how can I get membership to Mari's Club for my darling wife? Yes, I'll be opening the memberships very soon. I'll let her know. She'll be the first one to know, and she'll join this amazing club of mine. And Texas Garden Guy.
Hey,
So
Dustin. The
Hello,
Darling
hello.
Wife Club. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very famous one. So watch out.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Kylie on YouTube is asking if my Darth Jade will not get much light in the winter because I live in a basement. What would a grow light work?
A grow light definitely works, but don't get one of those red and blue UV lights ones, like the really cheap ones. Get yourself like an HPS light. Like it has a reflective like umbrella on top. The light gets warm, which is good because it releases a lot of heat, which is good for the tree, makes it feel like it's still in a tropical environment. So get the grow light, but more than the grow light, you need to have some sort of fan, like whether it is a ceiling fan that's running on low in the room, or if it is an oscillating fan that's going slowly back and forth on low as well to move the air. That's really, really important. Furthermore, you might also need a humidifier. Now don't get scared. You can get all of these things that I just mentioned under $200 and you can keep them forever. The humidifier you might need because you said you live in a basement, and I know basements tend to get very dry in the winter time, depending of course how cold your winters actually get.
Yeah, that's a great tip about the humidity for sure. It's like what you will be worried about in a basement.
Yeah, I'm speaking again out of experience on that one. When we first overwintered our trees, we overwintered them in a garage. And it got so dry and I didn't really think too much about the humidity. I wasn't prepared, and all the trees lost their leaves and they were not happy until spring came around. So yeah.
But definitely a Darth Jade you still have big probabilities of going well for you. Like
Oh yeah,
Jades are
Yeah.
definitely
good call. I'm
great
glad that
species
you
to try this with.
I'm glad that you actually said that you had a dwarf jade. And the humidity level, you want to have it above 50%. The higher the better, but just at least 50.
Yes, and I see on TikTok, Chris Scott is saying cool tree, right? I mean, this is probably one of my favorite trees that we have had here.
Oh, I agree.
What
Absolutely.
a potential. I mean, the branches, the trunk, the ramification is so nice.
And you know what's crazy about this is you can literally name any bonsai species that you can think of. This will be even more rare than whatever you're thinking of. So if you're thinking of like a chochobai, this is way rarer than a chochobai, this type of vitex. You can get the vitexes that have like that cannabis leaf, but those are not as vigorous and those don't do as well as this one does, and they also don't flower as profusely. So this is super, super rare. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I think this tree also responds so well to like the trimming, like when you do the
Oh,
leaf
yeah.
reduction. I feel that it's one of the species that I've seen you doing the technique and that actually you see the results in like quick, like you
Pretty
just
much
see it.
immediately, yes.
So it's
Very good observation.
yeah, and of course this tree flowers, so that's like the best feature of this tree. Has purple flowers, so if you guys can imagine this tree full of flowers, I mean that's just gonna be amazing.
It is actually one of my absolute favorite species to use for bonsai, because you can propagate them from any size cutting. So you can literally take a cutting that's like a foot wide, cut it off, put it in a pot, and it will root guaranteed. It roots so fast, so easy, and whoever gets this tree, I recommend that you take a little cutting like this, you root it, and then you grow it in the ground into a big mature tree. This will grow into a humongous tree in the ground in probably like 4 years. They grow so fast, and then you can take endless cuttings from that mother tree. Definitely something I recommend you do.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, we love mother trees where we can take more bonsais from.
Well, especially you can get some big size bonsai cuttings from. And let's face it, no tree grows as fast anywhere as it does in the ground, right? So whatever trees are grown in the ground, they just grow 5-6 times as fast as anything grown in a container.
Yeah, yeah. And now that you're like halfway in there, I didn't ask you, but did you pick a front already?
Oh yeah, a long time ago. I
Oh,
forgot to say anything
yeah.
about that,
Show
huh?
us and tell us
Okay.
your process.
So you guys are looking at the back, and I'm going to obviously show you the front. So this is the front. The reason why I chose this as the front is because the tree is so much more interesting from this front here. So you have a very wide root spread that goes out to here. And when you repot this tree in the spring or next summer, it's up to you if you want to treat it like a temperate tree or like a tropical tree. Cut the root ball in half right around here and pot this into a shallow pot. It will continue to spread. So this is my front because of the root spread, but also I love the movement of the trunk. It almost looks like it turns into a twin trunk here, but no, not quite. You have some really heavy oak branches that are still very elegant and in that upward motion. So that's why I chose that as my front.
Yes, I love it. And John is saying, how is your gorgeous windswept Vitex and Mari pair with the perfect accent piece?
She's beautiful. She's still doing great. However, that tree was sold right before we left Georgia. The tree was sold, but it's still doing well. I've seen it just recently. It's still alive and it's still happy.
And you actually will know more about it next week. Next week, there's a story time
That's right.
of that.
For some
Vitex.
reason, I thought the story time already played. That's why I'm like,
No, I believe it's next week.
no, it is
yeah.
next week. You're absolutely right.
So yeah, if you guys want to know more about what John is telling about that windswept Vitex that Jerome developed, he's gonna be talking about that. That story time is gonna come out next Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. And also 2 videos in the previous weeks, you can see a video about the Vitex basics where you can learn as well about the repotting, the things that you should do, tips and tricks. And even though we're going to be talking about it a little bit today, you can always go back to that video and reinforce those tips. So that, and I believe the second video was about a cool technique that we love, which is root over rock. And this species is great for that technique. And you'll see that as well in our latest YouTube video. So if you're watching from TikTok, for instance, you guys make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Is We Are the Bonsai Supply, and we post videos every week. So check it out as well. And let me see. Do you guys have merch to buy online? Shirts, hats. I've watched most of your videos and I'm a big supporter.
Oh, thank you.
So first, thank you so much for being a supporter and to be with us today. And we do have some merch on our YouTube channel. Over there, they will, like, with our videos, you will see those few merch that we have, but we actually do offer products, and that's our main thing. And I guess I'm gonna take this time also for Jerome to show some of it, to talk about it, to talk about how how to use it, and with that you'll know more about our products. If you would like to support and try our products,
Let's do it.
I'm
What are you
going-
gonna give me first?
well, first, a number one seller, of course, and is our soil.
All right, here you go. So this is our bonsai soil. It's an all-purpose bonsai soil mixture. We sell it in 3 different sizes. This is the smallest one, and then they get larger from here. You can find them on our website, on Amazon, Home Depot in Canada and the United States, Lowe's, and also Walmart. This soil is the best soil that you can use for any type of tree that you have in your collection. So whatever you have, if you have a black pine or if you have a ficus, you can use the same soil. It's one soil for all of your bonsai trees. Give me the next product.
Is our second best seller.
All right, thank you. So by the way, on our soil, we have over 3,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. So that should tell you something. It is really good.
Oh, and actually, I wanted to show them before we move on to the fertilizer. We do have the soil in 3 sizes,
Oh, I said
and
that.
we're very. But you want to show them? We have them.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So just to show it really
Okay,
quick. how
let me
they-
push
what
the
they
tree
can
to the side a little bit.
expect.
All right. So having said that, this is the small one.
Yes, and we're gonna show you the 1-gallon bag. This the
Which
1-gallon
is this
bag,
one?
so you guys can know when you order what you're getting. And the big guy in the back, probably.
Yes.
That's our 20 quarts bag.
Here it is. Can you still see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously this one is 2 quarts. This one is twice the size of this one. And then this one is 20 quarts, which is 10 times the size of this one. Now what's really cool about our packaging is that it is made from recycled materials, which is something that we are big believers in and is also super cool.
Yeah. All right, so it's number 1. And also, you can see it on our website, thebonsaisupply.com. And we also sell the aggregates separate as well. If you
Exactly.
guys like to mix your own soil or create your own mix, we have the lava and pumice, which is pretty much the key ingredients of any soil mix. And then we also offer our calcine clay and alpine bark, which is our mix.
That's
All
a
right.
very good call. Thank you for
then-
actually pointing that out.
Yeah, really quick, our fertilizers.
All right, so we have 2 fertilizers that we offer and also use. We have an organic one and we have a chemical one. They are both slow release fertilizers. This one is an 18410, so high firepower. This one is an 835. Now we recommend that you use the organic for all conifers, so think anything that has needles, pines, all pines, junipers for instance, spruces, larch, and so on. And then everything else, we recommend this one, which is the 18410. So everything that's not a conifer, you can use this for. You can use this for azalea, bougainvillea, ficus, maples, whatever you can think of that is not a conifer, you can use this for. However, it is not harmful if you mix them up. So the only thing that will happen if you use this for your conifers, you will get very elongated needles. But if you use this organic one on your maples or on your ficuses, nothing will happen. It will just not grow as fast as it would with this one. Also notice down here our organic fertilizers OMRI listed, which is a certification that basically certifies that all the ingredients in here are actually in fact organic, but also that all of the ingredients are premium quality. And that is why it is OMRI listed.
All right, so that was our
All right.
commercial, and you guys have it. Those are our products, and we'd love you to have your trees try it out.
Yeah, and if you've never tried them, give them a try and let us know how you like it, or if there's anything that you think we can improve on our products. We are here to listen.
All right, wonderful. And I know I see a question on TikTok really quick about the drainage of our bonsai soil. It says, do you water every day?
That's a very good question. So yes, the drainage is very good on our bonsai soil, which means that you will not get a root rot. Furthermore, yes, I do water on a daily basis throughout the growing season, but that's what all bonsai artists do. If you use if you use any type of bonsai soil, you have to water every single day. Nothing new there. And you also get into the habit, the tree gets into the habit that it dries out in between watering. I recommend that you water your trees every single morning as soon as you wake up, or at least before the sun is at its highest point, that you water and be consistent. If you water every day at 8 a.m., continue to do that every morning at 8 a.m. You can also install a watering system that will do it for you, which is very affordable. I was going to say cheap, affordable, but it will get the job done. So, yes.
All right. Hindu John is so sweet. He's like, best soil I've ever used.
Yeah, brother, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Eric, follow-up question. Can you and do you recommend reusing the soil?
So what I end up doing is I reuse the soil after a repot for like cuttings and for like starter trees that I transition like really small pots into recycled soil. But in general, I don't like to recycle soil because I do like to, and if I do recycle the soil, I want to make sure that I add some pine bark and also some fresh calcine clay. But then again, don't reuse it for your good trees. Use it for cuttings or seeds or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's see, and that's a great question. We actually get that question quite often.
This is a great question.
Is good. Wonderful. So for this tree, whoever wins this tree, what they should do as soon as they get it?
Okay, that's a very good question. So since it is fall and the temperatures are a little bit different everywhere, right? So what I would recommend if you live in a warm climate and it is still 70 degrees plus at night, you can just leave it outside and leave it in full sun during the day. However, if this tree goes to like Colorado, I actually seen a little reel of one of my friends and it's already snowing over there. So obviously it's going to be colder there. So I would recommend if you live in a colder climate where it is below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, move it inside and keep it by a window. Now, during the winter time with all of my trees, in terms of watering, since we talked about watering earlier, I have a very simple rule. If my tree continues to grow, I continue to water and I continue to fertilize. Once the tree starts to slow down, and you'll notice right away, like this tree will lose most of its leaves, then you can stop watering as frequently. Just make sure that the soil is not completely bone dry. Have it slightly moist, almost on the verge of drying out.
All right. Wonderful. Is there a place where this tree might not do well?
You mean like outdoors or indoors or just in general?
Well, in general, this wouldn't be an indoor tree, right? Like,
no, in general it would be an outdoor tree, but over the winter time so it does not like to be in the shade too much. This is a tree that likes to grow. So keep it in full sun. If you keep it indoors, keep it by a bright window. If you have neither, like one of you said you live in a basement and you don't have that, put it in the same place where you would put your jades, like under a grow lamp, and you will be fine.
You know, I saw a little flower, and I think you caught it.
Really? I did not see one.
Yeah, I was excited about it. I was gonna tell you, but now I don't see it, so I think you got it.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh my goodness.
I think I'm getting down to my last piece of wire here, people.
Yeah, no, I mean the tree looks already so good. I mean, before you even touched it, it was.
Now it's just open, right? Now we have just the light that can penetrate into the canopy. This is such a great tree.
Yeah. And for those that might be new to our lives, this is something that we try to do at least once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an opportunity to just, watch life, how Jerome styles of tree. You can ask questions, and also we auction the tree at the end. So for 48 hours, you guys can bid for the tree, and if you are in the United States, you can participate, and this bill shipped straight to your home. So have that in mind. And also, once Jerome is done with the design, we're gonna go ahead and talk about pot options. So start thinking, what kind of pot would you see this tree in? If this was your tree, what kind of pot would you use? Was it, shape? Was it an oval, rectangular? Is it glaze? What color glaze? Is it all glaze? Let us know. Get creative, and if we do have it around, we'll play with it and we'll see how it looks.
Now, obviously, yellow would work well.
You keep talking about the yellow one, but I think we don't have any more.
No, we don't have any more yellow pots.
Oh no, we do have one. I see one. Okay.
You do? Oh yeah, I do love my yellow pots.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Let me see how it's looking.
No,
Are you ready
I have to say
review?
though, I also like the tree from the back.
I was gonna say it has definitely more than one front, because that's why I wasn't sure if you I was like, did you pick a front? Because looks good all
Now
around.
this is the front that I chose where my chopstick is. Now, what's cool about this tree is since Vitex are such aggressive growers, and if you might remember at the beginning I said, whoever gets this, cut the root ball in half and pot it into a shallow pot. Now what happens is, since we will pot it into a shallow pot, but I want to keep the overall size about in here. What happens in a shallow pot is once the roots start to spread horizontally, and they don't have nowhere else to go besides growing horizontally along the bottom of the pot, they cannot go down. What happens is the trunk will start to spread. And it will start to thicken up so fast. So when you repot this, guys, in the spring or summer, depending on if you want to treat it like a tropical or like a temperate tree, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as well, leave it in this new container for 3 consecutive years. And that is also why I don't really reuse our soil that really at all, because we don't repot, that often unless it's a tropical tree. But anything else, we leave it in the pot for about 3 years. So, yes.
All right, so we're ready for the big reveal.
Let's do it.
360.
Let's do it. So now, remember I said depending on how you want to treat it, tropical or tempered. If you treat it tropical, repot it in the summer. If you treat it more like a tempered tree, repot it in the spring when the new growth starts to come out. Do you see the 360, or should I go once again? Let's go once again.
Once again, well, people tell me in the comments, what kind of pot do you see this tree in? As I said, it said a rectangular, oval, glaze on glaze. What?
So I actually like that pot at the very bottom there.
No, you said yellow one.
Well, I do like the yellow one, but we don't have a pot large enough for the yellow one. But of course, if you have a yellow one, okay, show me that oval one first, please. Can you send me that one right there?
Which one? This one?
Yes.
Okay.
So I like the size of it. I'm not too keen of the glaze, but I think this size would be okay for it to grow into. But now imagine if this pot was like a light yellow.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so a shallow pot, I would totally pot it into this pot. If this was my tree, this would be its next container. Pot it into this one all the way to the floor of the pot. Keep it in here for 3 years. The trunk will probably be almost twice as thick as it is now by then. And then you can put it into a pretty pot. And so for instance, I like that pretty pot at the bottom there. If you could send me that one next, if you don't mind.
Which one? This one?
The one at the very bottom. I know I'm very demanding.
Okay, so what I'm seeing though is that you're going shallow.
Yes.
Shallow all the way.
So, I mean, look at this one. I like this one too as a training pot. Super cool. I mean, you see this white here in the pot. On the trunk here, you can see that there's a hue of white on the trunk. And as they get older, the trunk gets more like silver, almost to a white. And you can already tell on this tree. So having this accent here to complement the whiteness on the trunk, I think it would be really sexy. Can you see better now?
That looks really nice. Yeah.
I would even use this as a training pot, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, Dujon is saying oval blue that has streaks of white drizzled down.
Dujon!
Very specific.
Wow.
I mean, I have something similar.
Okay.
Definitely not the size, not the appropriate size, I think. But, you know, you can get the drill of it.
Do you like this as the front, or do you like the other side? That's a little more...
Yeah, okay. What do you think, Dujon?
Is this something you had in mind? Very specific. I like it. Very creative.
Looks nice.
It does look nice. And then you have those purple flowers, right? It's a beautiful match.
Yeah, so right now you're for TikTok.
And then YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean,
super nice.
Any color, like even if you had something that was maybe slightly purple, would also be very
Okay,
nice.
so now we're just gonna end obviously with the OG, which is the yellow pot, and the stick.
Here you go. Now, I would like, I mean, you could probably fit this tree into this yellow pot, but I think it's a little too small. I would like the yellow to be a little less yellow, to be a little more light in color. Almost beige. That would be really nice, I think. But
Okay.
still yellow.
It looks nice in yellow too, I
Okay.
have to say.
This yellow?
Can you show here?
Of course, I would love to. How's this?
All right, wonderful. Yeah, I mean, they
I mean,
all
the
look good.
Purple
So-
and yellow just works so well together, right? You have those purple flowers with the yellow pot. I think it looks amazing.
Yeah, so this is definitely a tree with multiple fronts and also multiple options of pots. It really looks good in anything. So this is a great tree, and this is the result of today's live.
Are you sure that you want to auction this off?
Jerome always wants to keep the trees.
Always.
I have to keep him away. So I'm the police, and I make sure he's not beating the tree. But anyway, thank you so much for joining today. For those that are in the US, in about an hour or so, we'll be putting this tree on our website, thebonsaisupply.com, where you can bid for this tree for the next 48 hours, and you can get it straight to your home. So without further ado, do you have anything else?
No, I'm just looking at this tree while you're talking, and I'm like, wow, this tree is great. Like, it's so elegant. I hope it translates to the camera like that. But having said that, good luck on the bidding, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you. Bye.
See you in the next one.